Talking now about the top honor that we're going to be discussing this week. We've got the Ben Franklin Award for Valor and the Monroe Fire Department right here. Chief John Centers, thank you for joining us, and Lieutenant Scott Clasgens. Thank you so much. All right, take us through what it felt like to be honored in this capacity.
I think it's a wonderful program. It gives us the honor of being recognized for the jobs we do every day globally in this business, and it's just been a wonderful event, recognizing all the skills and the attributes of the firefighters of this nation.
And let's go back to the day that it all happened, that you guys were called out for service, August, and this was last year.
Yes.
What was it like being out there in those moments?
Well, the call initially came in as a fire alarm, so I don't think we were prepared mentally to see what we saw when we got there. So the building was already well involved when we rolled up, and there was a lot of people still inside the building at windows, waving towels, that sort of a thing. So there wasn't a lot of opportunities to sit back and try to figure out a game plan. I think the bulk of the folks there operating just immediately went into overdrive mode to begin getting people out of the building safely. And
minimal injuries as well. I mean, you had dozens of people to deal with, and minimal injuries too.
Yes, very minimal.
Was that chaotic? What was it like to be on the ground there?
Well, probably the best descriptor for that would be the lieutenant as to what was going on inside the building at that point, so I'll let him do that.
Lieutenant, how do you describe that?
Like you said, very chaotic. With these guys, I mean, we've got over 115 years of service, so when he says, we made it happen, it did. I mean, we made it happen. But to talk about the scene itself, very chaotic. Going into the south wing and seeing elderly people that are handicapped or disabled coming down the stairs, hindering our ability to get up, trying to filter them out of the south wing. Like we said earlier, we only had 9 guys of this building that we had to get, potentially 100 people out. It was supper time for them as well, family, friends there. So we didn't know what we were getting into. And like you said, it came out as a fire alarm. We do those every couple weeks there. So we wasn't truly mentally prepared until we seen the black smoke just around the corner. So, but with 9 guys, we got a lot of stuff done really quick. Like I said, 115 years here of service. These 5 guys here, to include myself, went in, got up on the 3rd floor, found some victims, some light smoke initially. A couple of the guys were able to get some guys down, and the rest of us started filtering the other 8 or 10 people that needed some assistance out of that wing. During that time, the fire progressed and was actually falling in on us as we were leaving. So
in a situation like that, what's the biggest challenge? The manpower, the equipment, the people inside. I mean, what is it in that moment?
All the above. Yeah, I mean, we knew we had 5 people, and like I said, we couldn't ask for 5 better people. In fact, there was only 1 guy that was supposed to be there that day. We were all on trades. So again, I think the community having the experience there made it a lot better to get out of the engine and to know that I didn't even have to say anything to any of these guys. It was just common, that we went about it. So all the above, to answer your question, I mean, we had the manpower issue, the elderly issue, going up 3 flights of stairs, the community involvement in the actual rescue. We would get them to the south side, and we had kids that were 16 years old helping some of these elderly people that we were filtering them to them. So it was just a big, very chaotic, but it worked. It really worked. But it couldn't have been done without experienced guys that day. And then, within 5-10 minutes, we had a bunch of people come to help us for the extinguishment.
How did you guys feel at the end of the day when you looked at each other and said, well, we did it? How about that? It worked out okay,
Yeah, I think there was a long time period after that fire that a lot of us had some issues looking back at how close we came to not only injuring some of our own staff members and maybe losing some of our own staff members, but to losing a large number of people within that facility. We were 6 minutes with the last room searched. 6 minutes later, about 2/3 of the roof collapsed into the 3rd floor. So when you look at things like timing and getting on the scene and knowing your positions, which the lieutenant was talking about, if you have to sit there and physically tell people, I want you to do this, that would have ate up minutes that would have probably resulted in us losing not only some residents in there, but possibly some of our firefighters.
So really, it took some time after to really be hit with the magnitude of what you guys just went through.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. How important is the IAFC to events like this and just honors like this and just the kind of partnerships that go together hand in hand, how can they help in just future incidents where there might be, you need machines, you need partnerships, you need help? Does that partner together at all?
It does. I think probably one of the big things for the fire service today is funding. So, grant availability. I mean, you can only push people so far with training and command staff scenarios, things that they're going to actually use in the field. They're going to make a difference. I'm all about classes and taking classes, but making things available that will fit within a budget line for a fire department instead of mandating things that we know they can't afford to begin with. So getting that information out to the departments nationally and making sure that they have good opportunities to work through the grant processes and bring that training in from the outside if they need to do that.
And lastly, I'll just ask you too, how proud are you of this team that's standing next to you here?
I've said a dozen times, more proud I could not be. I'll use that same terminology right now. I've worked with these guys for a long, long time, some of them 27 years. So, these are folks I worked alongside with when I was on a platoon as well. I am not surprised by their expertise and their bravery because I've seen that for a long time, but I'm proud for our community. I'm proud for the families of the firefighters that are here, and I'm just a very, very proud fire chief right now.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining me. I mean, you guys deserve a round of applause, right? Why not? Give yourself a hand, right? Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.